So, Bill, this program on drones is much more than a program on drones. It's a view into the way the state works. It's one of those big projects. Right now, the country spends $6 billion a year on drones. The promise of it is that soon enough it'll be double that, $11+ billion a year on drones. And the question is whether Hawaii will participate. It certainly seems like a natural. Hawaii seems like a natural to participate. But the jury's out, and the dual-use sector, which has been so profoundly damaged, by Dan Inouye's passing, is hanging in the balance. What do you think?
Well, I think it's true. Drones are sort of symbolic of the dual-use opportunity, which is to use government R&D funding to develop technologies that can ultimately be commercialized. And this is, drones are not just the only thing. There's unmanned, ocean-going vessels that could patrol harbors. There's sensor technology. There's just, you name it, anything that would help the so-called warfighter has potential in the commercial world. So the sad thing is that we used to have a real thriving contracting capacity here with the federal government, thanks to plus-ups and earmarks that the senator was able to get into defense appropriations. But that's no longer the case. First, we had the killing of the earmarks under the Obama administration, and then with him gone, we don't have anybody sitting in the top echelon of the Defense Appropriation Committee, or Appropriations, which was his last seat, to really make sure Hawaii gets its fair shot at all the money that's out there. And this is killing our dual-use sector. I mean, we used to have a number of very viable, thriving companies that were capitalizing on either being subcontractors to the big prime contractors like SAIC, BAE, Lockheed, or doing their own dual-use work. And that group is really struggling.
Yeah. Well, it's really important that we nurture, if necessary, resurrect some of these companies and the whole entrepreneurial spirit about working for military research. This is the perfect place. We have all the bases here with huge presence. People don't realize that the military presence in Hawaii is probably greater than most states, mile for mile. This is the perfect place. We ought to be active in this area. And since the federal government isn't going to do it, directly or indirectly, through Dan Inouye or in other ways right now, then the state is since the federal government is not going to be able, since we're not going to be able to get the same kind of support for the dual-use sector from the federal government for one reason or another, especially Dan Inouye's passing, the state itself has to step up, and we have to be much more mindful. The legislature has to be much more mindful. The state government in general has to support this industry, or we will lose it.
Well, I think we can also have some confidence in the university because we have competitive strategic advantages that the university can capitalize on with grants and contracts from other sources. So the challenge there is getting that IP out of the university and into the commercial sector as well. And that not only takes funding from primary sources, but it also takes venture capital. And therein lies our ultimate challenge is where's the money for commercialization going to come from? And we still have that problem to tackle.
We're in a time of change and a time of risk about this, and we have to recognize the issue. We have to step up and do something about it. So thank you very much, Bill. And remember, it used to be plus ça change, plus la même. Now it's just plus ça change.
That's for sure.